Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Simati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatya Desatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. I offer my most respectful obeisance to my beloved spiritual master Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, who by his kindness has given us a chance to be part of his family, of his divine transactions, of helping others. So our seminary is on how to establish a center somewhere of Krishna consciousness. First thing you have to know when you open a center somewhere, who are the people you're going to speak to? What is their language? What is their idiosyncrasy? What is their religious background? What's going on there? And then you have to meditate how the treasures which you have received from your spiritual master will be appealing to them. Will be appealing to them because it's contagious. Krishna conscious is contagious. If we help others to become Krishna conscious, we can convince them of that which we are convinced of. Faith is contagious. But many things have to be thought about. First of all, you have to learn the language or work with a translator. I've worked with translators. It's one of the most horrible things, because to really get a person to understand what you want to say and to really understand what he wants to say is so hard. The translators, they try their best, but they don't get too far. And that's a very slow process. So the best thing, if you really want to reach somewhere, learn the language. Learn the language. Then the people can understand you love them. If you try to speak a person's language, they know you appreciate them. They know you are for real. So in this way, many devotees have learned many languages. I myself learned a few too. Not enough. I wish I had learned more. But important is, you're going somewhere. Now what are you going to do? You rent a house, you rent a park, some hall, or you rent a farm. Whatever you do, you are trying to create a place where you can deliver your lectures, or you go to institutions and preach in them. But you need a place where people can approach you, be with you. And you also need a legal status. Individual nationality status is a status. Foreign residence permit is a status. But if you want to be somewhere as a religious organization, you have to have a status, either a foundation, a non-profit society, a charitable organization. And you have to go through the whole procedures to do that, to be actually legally able to present your spiritual face in front of the police, the government, the registration, the tax department, or whatever is there. You have to gain your status and defend your status by appropriate bookkeeping, which our spiritual master always told has to be done anyway. Everybody has to have there should be no illegal money floating. In other words, when people give a donation, it should be a receipt, and then it should go in an account, and it should be spent for the purpose what it was given for. That kind of management is necessary if you want to be taken serious. The more serious you are doing the things, the more serious you will be taken. So, you want to start a center like that somewhere, that's very wonderful. I've personally preached mainly in very poor countries, and we really had to do anything and everything to just make the things start, because there was no other possibilities. But Sometimes also you're in a different situation. Maybe you're already starting with a property, maybe you're starting with a farm or something. And because of that, you have a bit more easy start. But whatever it is, you have to think very clearly about what is my status there, what is my position there, how I can receive the people, what is my advice for them, how I can reach to the public. I mean, there's an unlimited field of activities one can develop. And of course, the best thing is have a beautiful temple with beautiful deities and beautiful sadhana program and delicious prasadam, friendly reception. And all these things, they have to come gradually, because if you start somewhere, maybe you don't have much help. But still you can go out, you can print invitation cards. Prabhupada did that, and he went out, distributed the invitations, and then in the night gave class and sliced up an apple to give prasadam to everyone. So we have an example here. Prabhupada really, I mean, you know, many people went to the West. Let's think about it. Who took Krishna consciousness to the West? There was one Bharati Swami long time ago, in the beginning of the century. He actually spoke about Lord Chaitanya and wanted to do the Chaitanya Charitamrita in England, but he kind of disappeared. After that, Bhakti Vidai Bon Maharaj was sent. He preached to the high class. Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha Maharaj went. He preached. Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj went. He preached there. Followers of Bhakti Vidai Bon Maharaj, then later Sadananda, his godbrother, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's first German disciple, and Vamana Dev, Walter Eidlitz, who was a disciple actually of Sadananda. They went to Europe and they published beautiful books. They did hard work and they actually got a following. But all of these things remained a bit small, occult, hardly anybody knew. Nothing in comparison to the Theosophic Society or something like that, but it was there. But it wasn't until Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada came and really showed us how to give Krishna consciousness to others, how to establish a Krishna conscious centers in the world. All others, they could also give Krishna to others by their son, by their shiksha, but Prabhupada had this vision, this clarity, what these people need. He could understand some people got to get brahmachari training, some people have to get married, some people have to learn how to make business, sometimes he sent devotees out to distribute some leaflets, then some books. Some devotees he sent to take a karmic job in the world to help financially the temple. Prabhupada was 100% flexible, and he was finding a service for each and every one of us. That was his amazing capacity and his real care to make sure everybody's engaged in Krishna's service and everybody has a relationship with his inspiring spiritual master, which helps him to gain confidence in himself, to talk about Krishna and to support the temple. Now, step by step, no? If you're a group of devotees, it's easier than if you're alone. Somebody doing all that by himself, well, that's what Prabhupada did. Prabhupada went there without any friends, without nobody, simply pair of kartals, and then he started playing a little drum in a park and chanting. Well, this is inconceivable, but he gave us the lesson. He showed us what to do and what step to take. Whether situation you are in, you can just go out in the street and sing. Somebody's going to approach you and is going to ask you, why you're singing? And I'm singing the names of God because this is the Yuga Dharma. Tell me more about it. Okay, let's sit down, read this book. And in this way you start getting into a relationship with people. So, it's a very important lesson. We want to do something for Srila Prabhupada, for our parampara. we should be very, very humble and meditate on how the great devotees did it, how they accomplished this. What did they do to get people to give the little money they have or to go out and collect on behalf of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to maintain a little center of Krishna consciousness? This is really an amazing challenge, an amazing task, and it was actually accomplished, and we have the living example in front of us. Now, do we want to do it? Do we want to do it the same way, or do we want to do it a different way? That also depends on us. It depends what style we want to develop, but we are giving ideas here. Prabhupada gave us so many ideas. Some, he opened vegetarian restaurants, he opened theistic exhibitions, which were started by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But Prabhupada took it further. He took it into the faith, the theistic exhibition in Los Angeles, and then later in New Delhi, his devotees in the big temple took it into another dimension, a whole museum on Krishna consciousness. Devotees are doing many things. The creativity is very vast. Gopal Krishna Maharaj asked me, go to Kurukshetra and help us to get more ideas how to use this huge temple for Krishna. I said, you don't need my help. You're doing such great, amazing work. I'm a little bit more helpful when it comes to going to a poor country and starting something from scratch there. That is a little bit more where my experience come in. But really the essence, the sake here is that we are trying to fulfill a dream. Prithivite achiyate nagaradigram sarvata prochara hoibinamaranam. In every town and village of the world, there should be a place where people chant Hare Krishna. And we can be part of it. And we should be broad-minded. You see, so many preachers have done this, have made different efforts. Prabhupada made it on a large scale. Now, after him, so many people came from the West, from the East, and they also went to the West. But most of them could not establish permanent temples like Prabhupada did. So there is something special about the permanent place, permanent sadhu, shelter for people. Yeah, that is what you should provide if you're very serious about it. And you can only leave that place if somebody is there who's going to do your job and allows you to move ahead and go, maybe open the second center. I always say, it's from a joke, for preaching, it is easier to open 2 temples than 1 temple. Why? Because the people you work with, they always get nervous, they want to leave the place, go somewhere else, or they get in a fight with each other. So if you have 2 places to choose from, then it's always much more easier than if you only have 1. This is just a little side aspect. Anyhow, we'll go deeper into it in next further days, further lessons of this contemplation, meditation, as how we can establish Krishna conscious centers around the world. It is my very delight to share anything and everything in this regard with you if you want to do it. It doesn't matter in what mission you are or who's your spiritual master. If you are told, spread Krishna consciousness, take some ideas, put them into practice, be successful, get the feeling of Sadhu Sangha and get the feeling of this Vaishnava world, which is so amazing, so wonderful. And even though we are totally disqualified for anything, it is nevertheless the order of our Guru Dev to go out and help others. Paradukha Dukhi. Some or other try to go and help others. So I thank you very much for listening until here. We will go on going deeper into the different subjects of this, and hopefully answering many, many of your questions you may have. And that when you are in the situation of guiding the spiritual life of others in your temple, that you will get some concrete inspiration from them how to go about. Thank you very much. Jai Sri Radhe Shyam Prabhupada, our life and soul, our master, our spiritual savior, who is backing up all the things we are doing when we are trying to open center for Krishna consciousness. All the rights are reserved by the Supreme Author, the Supreme Lord of Love. Haribol.